How's it going, everyone? My name's DeFi Dave. I am the head of North America of Dinero. I like to call myself the chain wrangler, though, because I just talk to chains, L1s, and L2s all day. And what do I talk to them about? This stuff. I'm going to go over it in my presentation. The yield baseplate barbell. How to make friends and distribute LSTs. Now, let's go back. Before I get into it, I want to bring up a quote from the legend himself, Bruce Lee. Be like water, making its way through cracks. Do not be assertive, but adjust to the object, and you shall find a way through. If you put water in a cup, it becomes a cup. If you put water into a bottle, it becomes a bottle. If you put water into the teapot, it becomes the teapot. Be water, my friend. So, what is a baseplate? Being a baseplate means being a canvas in which others can paint their offering however they see fit. In the same way water molds into the shape of what encompasses it, products mold into the shape of their brands. You can see this with, smartphones and Apple, computer chips and NVIDIA, watches and Rolex. These products mold into the shape of their brands. People hear what they see. For a baseplate to be successful, it must create a system for its adopters to, for a baseplate to be successful, it must create a system for its adopters to thrive with open distribution channels that has a self-perpetuating flywheel to it. These feedback loops are both technical, whether they be through mechanisms, or social through network effects. Like I said, basically being a baseplate, you're a canvas that your clients can mold you however they see fit. It can be technical, it can be social, I want to say one of my favorite business quotes from Justin Kahn. First-time founders are obsessed with product. Second-time founders are obsessed with distribution. Distribution is the name of the game. It doesn't matter how good your product is. It doesn't matter if it's revolutionary or it's crypto or not crypto. If people don't know about your product, then it's not going to go anywhere. Now some yield baseplate theory. A yield baseplate of Ethereum would be liquid staking infrastructure that represents a claim on staked ETH. The utility of LSTs and LRTs is that they allow otherwise illiquid assets to be used throughout DeFi, whether it's as collateral or other ways. In addition, they offer a layer of abstraction for users to obtain yield without actually knowing how to stake. But what if there was a way that, and instead of it being an individual brand, because usually these LSTs and LRTs, they're individual brands, whether they're Rocket Pool, Lido, ETHMilan, and so on. And they're quite recognizable, but what if there's a way for individual brands to, be something else? If the baseplate can be something else entirely. So enter the Dinero Barbell. So Dinero is the yield baseplate of Ethereum, and our value prop lies in our flexibility in our tech, structure, and brand. The yield baseplate barbell is a distribution strategy that focuses on two of crypto's largest distribution channels, and that's institutional adoption and execution layers such as layer 1s and layer 2s. Institutional focuses on traditional onboarding rails, while execution focuses on more crypto-native rails. Dinero, we're building a suite of products that scale yield for users and protocols of all kinds. PXETH is our LST, which serves as the baseplate for our users, whether they be institutions molding a compliant offering into IPXETH, or execution layers molding their own branded LST offering so they can have their own native LST on their chain. So PXETH, some quick facts. We originally launched in December 2023, and we have since grown to accumulate over 25,000 ETH since. It's a two-token system, consists of PXETH and APXETH. APXETH is currently the highest yielding LST at over 9%. And right now, if you just want to hold PXETH and want to go farm, our PXETH LP pools are yielding anywhere between 10% to 35% throughout DeFi. So many people ask, like, how do you guys have 9%? How's that even possible? Well, we have this two-token system, and in this two-token system, not all PXETH is an APXETH. PXETH, that's just vanilla ETH. It's the equivalent of WETH. APXETH is the vault. I like to think of it as you have dollars and you have a bank account. Not all dollars are in the bank account, but when it is in the bank account, it earns a yield. It earns some interest. It's the same thing with PXETH and APXETH. And because not all PXETH is an APXETH, it's always boosted. In addition, our treasury supports PXETH, whether it's holding the asset itself, or we have a bunch of governance power in different protocols and partners, and that helps subsidize the yield. And the numbers speak for themselves. I don't even have to say anything. Actually, I checked this morning. To date, it's not at 65 million that we have. It's 90 million TVL that we've had. And also, in the past 30 days, we've grown about 45%. So, institutional ETH. It's one thing to get your product. It's one thing to build a product. It's another thing to get it out there and to think of new distribution channels that otherwise haven't been explored. I feel like in crypto, we've always focused on being on-chain so much, catering to the on-chain user, which is fine, but there's a whole lot more capital out there in institutions and in accredited investors that want to get in, but they just don't know how, or they just can't because of compliance reasons. Institutions have historically been slow to adopt in crypto and DeFi because of these reasons. And so what we were thinking is like, hey, why don't we build the rails for institutions to come in, have the perfect balance of us playing by their rules, but also them coming into our field. Where is that perfect balance? Where can we see that fit? And since the launch of the ETH ETF, there's something noticeably missing to it, which was yield. So that's why we partnered with Laser Digital and Galaxy to bring IPXETH, which is, think of it as like the ETF, but with yield. You can see how it works right here. I know it's there's a lot going on, but the main thing you have to keep in mind is that the IPXETH and regular APXETH, they're segregated. There's no commingling of funds, which is, it's paramount. That does not happen. So the yield is segregated, but the ETH is segregated, but the yield remains the same. Branded LSTs. So this is the stuff I do day to day. So I like to think of this, we've all seen the success of Mansell Meth, Blast ETH, where it's basically Blast ETH in the front, but it's stepped in the back. And both Mansell and Blast, they've grown to 9, 10 figures in TVL. We were just like, hey, why can't all chains and execution layers do that? Why does it have to be just them? Well, it's pretty hard to run your own LST, so we figured, hey, let's just run a white label service for them, and that's how we came out with these branded LSTs. Another way to think of it as, in the same way Paxos has partnered with, PayPal to do PYUSD, and also Binance when they had BUSD. We're doing the same, but with LSTs. So here's the branded LST flywheel. Branded LSTs are native to the chain. The yield from the branded LST, the 9%, that could be used however the chain sees fit. They can take a part of the yield, they can put it in hidden hand, and boom, you can go help encourage liquidity pools and capital formation. You can take some of the yield, boom, you can go put it in your treasury, have it in some grants. There's many different ways that you can use, that chains can use the yield to help support their ecosystem. And it's important to note this is the native asset to the chain. Native assets are always stickier than if it's just another branded, if it's just another asset. We've seen that before, so there we go. And then conclusion, in both institution and retail, APXETH acts as a boilerplate for organizations to mold the LST however they see fit. If it's institutions, they want compliant. Oh, you got IPX ETH. If it's chains, they want it to be a native asset. Oh, you got branded LSTs. Institutions, like I said, they care about compliance and following the rules. Retail, chains, they care about stickiness, because we all know how mercenary capital is. It's in one day, out the other. People are just chasing yield. But if you have it a way where you allow users to be loyal to the chain and give them an opportunity to be loyal and support the chain long term, they're going to go take it. Thank you. You can go follow us. Dinero, yield that scales. Thank you.